Thank you, and thank you for being here, Mr. Secretary. I wanted to follow up. At the very beginning, Chairman Neal had asked you about the debt limit, the debt ceiling, and I was very happy to hear you say that you're supportive of a clean raise. So I wanted to follow up on that and actually go to the next step. The concept of the debt ceiling and the constant crisis it creates through repeated threats of not being raised is completely unnecessary and achieves nothing, in my view. It's no wonder that only a handful of countries around the world even follow this disruptive, arbitrary, and restrictive fiscal practice. When you receive your credit card statement at the end of the month, you can't decide, well, I'll pay this, but I won't pay that. Our current process, and we came most close up to the brink in 2011, but there have been other subsequent times, our constant process of playing chicken with the debt ceiling achieves nothing, and God forbid one day we might actually risk the full faith and credit of the United States. So last Congress, I introduced Resolution H.R. 3693 that would simply and cleanly abolish the debt ceiling once and for all. I wanted to know what your opinion was on whether my specific legislation or it's just the concept of eliminating the debt ceiling altogether and not having that potential danger lurking out there.
Well, let me just comment. I share your concern about going to the brinksmanship and risking the credit of the U.S. government. Obviously, this is something we can never let occur. I'm not familiar with your specific legislation. I will look at it. My own opinion is that when we approve spending, we should approve raising the debt ceiling. So I'm not sure we need to get rid of it, but like any other business, when you approve spending, you have a plan how to finance that spending. And if we want to cut spending, we should cut spending, but that is the time to deal with it. Correct. We should make sure that if we approve funding, we approve spending, we approve the necessary funding as well.
Correct, and in agreement, and I would point out that in 2011, even though we ultimately raised the debt ceiling, just the fact we came close and created that uncertainty in the markets led to the first ever downgrade of the credit of the United States. Briefly, in the time remaining, could you describe some of the things that would happen, given your role as Secretary of Treasury, if we were to ever fail, now or a future Congress, to raise the debt ceiling?
I can't imagine that this Congress or any other Congress would ever let the U.S. government fail. So I don't even want to go speculate on what the implications would be. Honoring the full faith and credit of the United States government is one of the most important issues, and as Treasury Secretary, I will do everything in my power to make sure that we honor the full faith and credit.